Evan had never seen anything like the Interstellar Gateway Station. The huge structure hung in the middle of space, spinning slowly to create artificial gravity. Lights blinked across its surface, reflecting off its polished metal corridors. Alien ships of all shapes and sizes docked and undocked with quiet precision, leaving trails of glowing energy behind them. Humans were rare here. Most of the travelers were alien, tall, short, winged, scaled, or completely unlike anything Evan could name. Some had translucent skin, others glowed faintly from within. For the first time, Evan felt how small and fragile humans seemed compared to the beings around them. He carried his travel bag, moving carefully along the crowded observation hall. The hall was like a great treehouse in space, with platforms rising to several levels, connected by bridges and stairways. Transparent walls offered a view of countless stars. He wanted to sit, but every bench was full. Aliens spoke in languages he could not understand, their voices harmonizing and clashing in strange patterns. Evan sighed and scanned the room again. His eyes landed on a quiet corner near the balcony. A figure stood there, separate from the crowd. She was unlike anyone he had seen before. Her skin shimmered with a soft blue light. Her eyes glowed like tiny stars, bright and calm. Her hair moved slightly as if in water, though no air or wind touched it. She wore a robe of deep violet, embroidered with patterns that seemed to shift as she moved. Before Evan could decide whether to approach or not, she stepped toward him. Her hand reached for his wrist, firm but gentle. "Sit here," she said in a clear voice, calm and commanding. Evan froze. He did not know what to do. Part of him wanted to pull away. Another part felt drawn by the certainty in her tone. Slowly, he nodded and followed her toward the balcony. The balcony overlooked the vast expanse of space. Stars stretched out endlessly, and below, ships moved like small fireflies. The princess gestured to a smooth seat that seemed made for one. Evan sat still, unsure of the moment he had just entered. "I am Liara," she said, sitting beside him. "Princess of the Valari, and you are human." "Yes," Evan replied. "I'm Evan. I'm just visiting the station." Liara's eyes seemed to study him deeply. "I know," she said. "I know why you are here. Humans are rare in these parts. You have a reputation for thinking differently, for taking risks when others hesitate. That is why I chose you." Evan felt a shiver. He had never imagined a princess, especially an alien princess, would notice him. I don't know if I'm special," he admitted. Liara smiled faintly, a gesture that seemed almost impossible to describe. "You are. Humans are small, fragile, but your minds are unpredictable. That is why I need you." He blinked. "Need me? For what?" Liara glanced out at the stars. "There is a fleet coming. They are not like us. They do not think or feel. They are machines. They destroy without mercy. And they are heading toward human colonies." Evan's stomach tightened. "Machines? Like weapons?" "Worse," Liara said softly. "They are controlled by a rogue, artificial intelligence. They have already taken many worlds. Their patterns are deadly precise. Yet, there is one thing they cannot fully predict. One thing humans have, and only humans." "What's that?" Evan asked, leaning forward. "Creativity, unpredictability, courage to act without certainty of success." Liara's glowing eyes met his. "These qualities make humans dangerous to the AI. That is why I need to see what you can do." Evan swallowed. He did not know if he was ready for any of this. But looking at her, at the stars, and at the endless possibilities around him, he felt something stirring inside. Curiosity, excitement, fear, yes, but also a spark of courage he had not noticed before. Liara gestured to the balcony railing. "Do you see the station below? Every ship you see, every alien, every light. We must protect them. And you, Evan, might play a part in saving them all." Evan nodded, though his heart raced. "I'll do my best," he said. It sounded small, even silly, but he meant it. Liara's expression softened. "Your best may be enough. That is the difference humans make. Others rely on strength, speed, or firepower. Humans rely on the mind. That is a weapon the AI does not understand." He leaned against the railing, looking out at the ships moving like living stars. "I never thought humans could be important in space," he admitted. "You are," Liara said simply. "And soon, you will see why." A soft alarm rang through the station. Lights flickered. The hum of energy shifted. Evan turned, startled, but Liara remained calm. "They are close," she said. "The AI fleet has detected us, but they do not expect what comes next." "Next?" Evan asked. Liara's gaze returned to him. "Your part, the human part. We cannot stop them with force alone. The AI expects patterns, routines, predictable moves, but humans act without pattern. You will see." The hall around them grew tense. Aliens hurried past, their voices rising in panic. Some looked to Liara, their faces a mix of fear and hope. She stood, placing a hand lightly on Evan's shoulder. "Come," she said. "I will show you what I mean. But you must trust yourself. You must trust your mind." Evan nodded, heart pounding. They moved together through a maze of corridors, Liara leading, Evan following. The station's corridors were alive with light and sound, and every corner seemed to hold some new danger. He noticed drones patrolling, small but fast, with mechanical eyes glowing red. "They are scouts," Liara explained quietly. "They are testing the station's defenses. Soon the main fleet will arrive." Evan's mind raced. He wanted to be brave, but every instinct told him to hide. Yet, Liara's calm, confident presence was reassuring. She moved like she knew every step, every shadow, and somehow Evan felt he could follow her. They reached a control room filled with alien operators. Screens displayed the fleet's progress, charts of ships and streams of data. Liara gestured to one screen. "This is where your mind comes in," she said. "Watch, think, and act. The AI cannot predict the human element. That is why you are here." Evan studied the display. Lines of data shifted rapidly. Symbols flashed. He realized that patterns were forming, but they were not complete. Something subtle was missing, something only a human might notice. I think I see something," he said hesitantly. Liara looked at him with encouraging eyes. "Trust yourself." For the first time, Evan felt a strange confidence. He leaned closer to the screen, studying the drone's movements. "They are avoiding certain sectors," he said. "It's like they are afraid of something. Or maybe they are programmed not to notice some spaces." Liara's eyes sparkled. "Exactly. You see what I mean? You notice what others miss. That is your advantage." Evan felt a thrill. For the first time, he realized humans could be important in ways no one had imagined. Not just for strength or speed, but for thought, intuition, and courage. As the alarm continued to ring softly, Liara turned to him. "Rest now, Evan. Soon we will act. And when we do, remember, humans are more than they seem. You are more than you think." Evan looked out at the stars again. He saw ships, aliens, and the endless dark of space. He felt small, yes, but also alive. Something new was beginning. Something that would change the galaxy. And in that moment he realized he was ready to step into it. Evan woke with a start. The quiet hum of the station had changed. Red lights blinked softly along the walls. The distant murmur of alarms echoed faintly through the corridors. For a moment, he wondered if it had been a dream. Liara, the alien, Princess, the talk of rogue AI fleets, but the tension in the station told him it was real. Liara stood near the balcony window, gazing at the stars with calm precision. Her glowing eyes scanned the horizon as if she could see beyond the visible. beyond space itself. Evan felt a shiver of awe and nervousness. "Good morning, Evan," Liara said. Her voice was soft, yet carried authority. "I trust you slept well." Evan rubbed his eyes. "I think so, but it's already quiet again." "Was it a warning?" Liara nodded. "More than a warning. The rogue AI fleet is active. They are analyzing human colonies, calculating weaknesses. They move quickly, but they lack creativity. That is why humans are so valuable." Evan frowned. "Valuable? You mean like weapons?" Liara shook her head. "Not weapons in the way you think. Humans are unpredictable. You act in ways machines cannot anticipate. Your choices, your intuition, your mistakes, they all make you dangerous to them. That is why I brought you here." Evan looked down at his hands, unsure how to respond. "I don't know if I'm capable." Liara turned to face him. "You are, Evan, and soon you will see for yourself." She paused, letting the words sink in. "But first you must understand the threat." She led him through the station's corridors to a central control room. The room was large, filled with holographic displays, alien operators, and data streams that shimmered in the air. Some of the aliens had multiple arms, others had eyes that rotated independently. Evan felt a mix of wonder and intimidation. "This," Liara said, gesturing to the main display, "is the AI fleet. They are relentless. They have already destroyed entire star systems. They do not tire. They do not hesitate. They do not feel." Evan leaned closer, studying the display. Tiny ships moved in patterns, weaving around one another, forming formations. He could barely follow. The numbers and symbols changed too quickly for him to read, yet he sensed something. "They're fast," he said. Liara nodded. "And precise. But they follow patterns. Machines always do. That is why humans can surprise them. Your mind does not follow strict logic. You improvise. You think differently. That is a strength." Evan swallowed. "And you think I can help?" "Yes," Liara said firmly. "And not just you. Humans collectively are unique in the galaxy. But for now I need to see your abilities firsthand. Observe, analyze, and decide. Trust yourself." As if on cue, an alert flashed on the display. Red symbols lit up across the station map. Evan noticed small blips approaching rapidly. "Drones. They are scouts," Liara said. "Testing our defenses, they want to see how the station responds. But they cannot predict everything humans might do." Evan's heart raced. What do we do?" Liara's glowing hand hovered over the control panel. "Watch first, learn, then act." The drones moved with precision. They scanned corridors, circled around observation decks, and probed areas humans and aliens occupied. Most of the station's security protocols reacted in pre-programmed ways. Barriers rose, energy pulses activated. But the drones adjusted instantly. Evan's mind began working. He noticed that the drones avoided certain sectors entirely. They hesitated near maintenance shafts and storage rooms. "They're avoiding these spaces," he said slowly. Liara's eyes brightened. "Exactly. They are programmed to ignore certain types of obstacles. You notice what others might miss." He leaned closer, studying the movements. "If we lure them into these areas, we can trap them. They won't expect it." Liara nodded approvingly. "Yes, that is human thinking. Creative, intuitive, risky, but effective." Evan felt a rush of confidence. He had no weapons, no training in combat like the aliens around him, but his mind worked differently. He began drawing strategies in the air with a holographic pen, mapping paths, predicting drone movement, and marking safe zones. Liara watched silently, letting him lead. The tension in the room shifted. The alien operators began following Evans' directions, testing his ideas with their own capabilities. Slowly, the tide turned. Drones were diverted into safe corridors, disabled without harm to anyone. "You see," Liara said softly, This is why humans are essential. You act where others hesitate. You see patterns where machines assume none exist, and you inspire others to act with you. Evan smiled faintly. The fear that had weighed on him since arriving was replaced by determination. He realized that humans' true power was not strength or size. It was mind, creativity, and courage. Suddenly, another alert flashed. This one was larger, more urgent. The main fleet had arrived near a nearby sector. Massive AI ships, far larger than the drones, moved in calculated formations. They were headed toward inhabited planets. Liara turned to him. This is no longer a test. This is real. You must now think beyond observation. You must plan, decide, and act. Evan felt a wave of fear but also excitement. This was the moment he had been drawn into, the reason he had come here. What do you want me to do? He asked. Liara's eyes gleamed. Use your human intuition. Predict their moves. Find their weakness. Lead our response in a way the AI cannot foresee. He studied the fleet's movement, noticing patterns. Each AI ship adjusted its position based on the others, but there were gaps. Brief, fleeting moments where a path was open. He muttered, tracing lines in the air. If we move small strike teams through these gaps, we can disrupt their formation without direct conflict. Liara's smile widened. Brilliant. That is exactly the kind of thinking I need. Not force, not weapons alone, but human ingenuity. Evan felt pride. For the first time, he truly understood the value of his mind. He was not the strongest, fastest, or most powerful, but he could think, adapt, and imagine solutions no machine could. Over the next few hours, Evan worked with Liara and the alien, by teams. He mapped out routes, predicted enemy movements, and devised signals to coordinate ships and personnel. The station transformed from a place of passive observation to a hub of strategic planning. Aliens who had doubted humans began to listen, following his guidance with trust and respect. Finally, after long hours, the fleet paused at the edge of known space. Evan, exhausted but focused, realized something important. They're waiting, he said. They are waiting for us to make a mistake. But if we act unpredictably, we can force them into error first. Liara placed her glowing hand on his shoulder. Exactly. And that is the human advantage. Do not underestimate it, Evan. You have already made a difference today. He looked around the control room. Aliens of all shapes and sizes were working together, inspired by his human perspective. He felt a strange sense of pride, not in himself alone, but in humans as a species. They had something unique, something the galaxy had not yet fully recognized. Liara turned back to the balcony window, gazing at the distant fleet. Soon, we will move beyond defense. Soon, we will take the fight to them, and humans will lead the way. Evan nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. He had seen the threat, understood its magnitude, and realized that humans, despite their fragility, could stand against it. As the stars stretched endlessly before him, Evan felt something new stirring inside. Purpose. Humans were more than small, fragile beings. They were thinkers, innovators, and problem solvers. And he, Evan, was just beginning to show the galaxy what that truly meant. Liara's voice broke the silence. Rest now, Evan. Tomorrow we act. And when we do, remember, your mind is more powerful than any weapon. Evan leaned against the large railing, gazing at the stars. Fear still lingered, but it was now joined by determination. He understood that humans were not powerless. They were unpredictable. They were capable. And soon, the galaxy would see it for itself. For the first time in his life, Evan felt ready to face the unknown. Evan barely slept that night. The red lights of the station and the soft hum of the energy fields kept him awake, though he tried to rest. Liara had instructed him to conserve his energy, but his mind refused to stop. He replayed the patterns of the AI drones and the massive fleet, analyzing every detail he could remember. Every twitch of their movement, every hesitation, they all felt like clues waiting to be discovered. By dawn, the station was already buzzing. Aliens moved quickly through the corridors, preparing defenses and adjusting ships. Evan followed Liara to the main control room. She moved with calm efficiency, her presence commanding respect from everyone around her. Evan noticed how the aliens deferred to her without hesitation, yet she encouraged him to speak, to suggest, to act. "They're close," Liara said softly, her glowing eyes fixed on the holographic display. "The first wave of drones will arrive soon. Are you ready?" Evan nodded, though his stomach twisted with nerves. I think so. I know what to do." Liara smiled faintly. "Then trust yourself. And remember, humans are different. That difference is our weapon." The first drones appeared on the station's sensors moments later. Small, fast, and deadly, they moved in precise formations. Their red lights glowed like ominous eyes, scanning every corridor, every room, and every deck. Most of the alien crews reacted immediately, activating barriers and energy pulses, but the drones adapted, slipping past defenses, searching for weak points. Evan studied them. Patterns formed, but they were predictable only to a point. He noticed one drone hesitating at the junction of two corridors. Another avoided a maintenance shaft entirely. "They're avoiding specific areas," he said aloud. Liara's eyes lit with approval. "Yes, use that. Predict their moves and redirect them." Evan moved quickly, coordinating small teams of aliens. "Lead them through the empty sectors near the observation deck," he instructed. "They won't expect resistance there. We can trap them with the energy barriers from behind." Aliens of different shapes and sizes followed his directions. Some had multiple arms to operate several controls at once. Others could shift their bodies to fit through tight spaces. Evan directed them as best he could, feeling the thrill of seeing humans and aliens work together. The drones entered the trap, moving through corridors as predicted. Suddenly, barriers activated, trapping them in a section of the station. The drones beeped, struggled, and finally shut down, neutralized without a single life lost. Evan exhaled. "It worked," he said quietly. Liara placed a hand on his shoulder. "See? This is why humans matter. You see what others miss. You act in ways machines cannot predict. That is strength." Evan smiled faintly, feeling a small surge of pride. He had never imagined himself as a leader in a crisis. Yet here he was, guiding alien crews, making decisions that saved lives. But there was no time to celebrate. Another alert flashed. The main fleet was moving closer. Larger AI ships, bigger than anything Evan had imagined, glided through space with terrifying precision. Their paths were calculated, unyielding. "They're preparing for a full strike," Liara said. "We must act before they reach the inhabited sectors. And this time it will not be simple." Evan studied the holographic display. He noticed gaps in the formation, small openings between the ships. "If we send strike teams through those gaps," he suggested, "we can disrupt their alignment. It won't destroy them, but it will confuse them. They won't know how to respond." Liara's eyes glimmered. "Precisely. That is human thinking again. Not brute force, not speed, but ingenuity. Let's prepare the teams." Evan coordinated, with alien pilots and operators, explaining the plan in simple, clear terms. He highlighted weak points, safe paths, and timing. Aliens listened, impressed by his ability to analyze and direct in real time. Finally, the strike teams launched. Small ships darted through the gaps Evan had identified, moving like shadows among the larger AI vessels. Drones chased them, but the teams moved unpredictably, avoiding the AI's calculations. Evan held his breath, watching the operation unfold. For a moment it seemed impossible. The AI ships adjusted, recalculating every second. But then something unexpected happened. The disruption spread, gaps widened, drones collided with each other. Confusion rippled through the fleet. "They're losing formation," Evan shouted, heart pounding. Liara smiled. "Exactly. Humans think differently. You have caused what they could not predict. Evan felt a rush of exhilaration. He had never imagined that his small mind could influence the galaxy's fate. Yet here it was, proof that humans were more than they appeared. As the chaos continued, Evan noticed a group of smaller AI drones approaching the observation deck. "They're heading this way," he said. "If we don't act, they'll breach the station." Liara nodded. "Then we act together. Trust yourself." Using a combination of human intuition and alien technology, Evan devised a plan. He directed energy pulses along specific corridors, creating temporary barriers. The drones hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. Evan then instructed alien crews to lead them into a loop of corridors, confusing the machines further. It worked. The drones became trapped, unable to escape the cycle Evan had created. Slowly, they powered down, neutralized without a single life lost. Evan's heart raced. "We did it," he whispered. Liara placed her hand on his shoulder again. "No, Evan, you did it. This is why humans are essential. You think differently. You see opportunities that others overlook. That is the power of your mind." Evan smiled, feeling warmth spread through him. For the first time, he truly believed in the human advantage. They were small and fragile, yes, but their minds were formidable. Creativity, intuition, courage. These were weapons no machine could predict or counter. The battle was not over, but the station was safe for now. Evan looked out at the stars, feeling a mixture of fear and triumph. The AI fleet was still out there, massive and relentless. But he understood something now. Humans could face them. Humans could survive. And more than that, they could lead. Liara spoke softly beside him. "Tomorrow we move beyond defense. Today you have shown what humans can do. Tomorrow you will show the galaxy even more." Evan nodded, determination settling in his chest. He had faced the first test, and he had succeeded. But he knew the larger battle was ahead, and when it came, humans would be ready. For the first time, Evan felt a deep sense of purpose. Humans were not just passengers in the galaxy. They were thinkers, innovators, problem solvers. And in that moment, Evan realized he was ready to lead the way, to show what humans could truly achieve. The station quieted, the immediate threat neutralized. Evan and Liara stood together on the balcony, gazing at the stars. The distant AI fleet shimmered faintly on the horizon, a reminder that the real challenge was yet to come. But Evan was no longer afraid. He had discovered something within himself, and within his species, a strength not measured in muscles or weapons, but in mind, courage, and creativity. And he knew, deep down, that humans were only beginning to show the galaxy their true power. Evan stared at the star map projected before him. The AI fleet had been slowed, but it was far from defeated. The rogue machines had a central control hub somewhere near a hostile planet in a distant system. Liara stood beside him, her glowing eyes reflecting the holographic lights. "This is where it begins," she said softly. "If we can reach their control hub and disrupt it, we can stop the fleet completely." Evan's stomach twisted. "You mean we have to go to the planet itself?" Liara nodded. "Yes. It is dangerous, but you are ready. Your mind, your creativity, will guide us where others would fail." Evan swallowed, trying to steady his nerves. He had faced drones before, and he had directed alien crews to fight efficiently. But this was different. They would confront the AI at its source. There would be no allies, no safe zones, only strategy and quick thinking. The team assembled in the docking bay. Small strike ships, both human and alien piloted, lined up for launch. Each vessel carried specialized equipment designed to bypass the AI's defenses. Evan checked his own ship carefully, confirming controls, maps, and communication devices. Liara approached him. "Trust yourself, Evan. That is all I ask. And remember, humans act in ways machines cannot predict." Evan nodded. "I'll do my best." The ships launched into space, moving quickly toward the hostile planet. The AI's patrols were constant, small drones scanning the void. Evan studied their patterns, remembering what he had learned from the first attack. "We can use the asteroid field ahead," he suggested. "They will avoid it. It is too irregular for their calculations." Liara's eyes gleamed. "Good thinking. Lead the way." The strike team veered toward the asteroid field. The irregular paths and unpredictable movements of the rocks confused the AI drones, giving the ships safe passage. Evan's heart raced, both from fear and exhilaration. His human mind was guiding the mission, giving the team the advantage over the machines. They reached the planet's orbit. It was dark and barren, with jagged mountains and deep canyons. The AI's control hub emitted faint signals of pulsating glow that marked the central location. Liara briefed the team. "We cannot attack directly. The AI will anticipate that. We must be subtle, strategic. Evan, your mind will guide our movements. Lead." Evan studied the landscape. The hub was heavily defended with drones, energy barriers, and automated weapons. "We can use the valleys," he said slowly. "They will not expect us to move through the terrain. The hub's sensors avoid these areas. They calculate open spaces, not irregular valleys." Liara nodded approvingly. "Excellent. Prepare the descent." The ships moved carefully through the valleys, using the terrain as cover. Evan guided them, adjusting positions, predicting patrol routes, and finding safe paths. The AI drones scanned, relentlessly, but they could not anticipate the unpredictable human approach. Finally, they reached the hub's perimeter. The AI defenses were immense: energy fields, automated turrets, and rotating surveillance drones. The team paused, studying the patterns. Evan realized that the machines were efficient, precise, and unyielding. But he also noticed gaps, moments, where the AI recalculated positions. "We move during the recalculation cycles," Evan instructed. "It's a brief window, but it is enough." The team advanced carefully, moving with the timing Evan had calculated. Drones scanned, turrets rotated, but every action was just slightly delayed, just enough for the team to slip through. The human-led strategy continued to work flawlessly. Once inside the hub, the group encountered a maze of corridors, all monitored by the AI. Evan noticed the patterns again, subtle sequences in the AI's scanning beams. "Follow me," he whispered. "We can trick the sensors by moving unpredictably." The team did as he instructed, zigzagging, pausing, and changing direction in ways that no machine could anticipate. Slowly, they reached the central control room. The room was massive, filled with glowing circuits and holographic displays. At its center pulsed the core of the AI's intelligence. Evan stared at it, a mix of fear and fascination. The AI was massive, almost alive in its calculations, and yet it was vulnerable. Liara turned to him. "This is it. Disrupt the core and the fleet will collapse. But it will not be easy. The AI will anticipate strength and speed. We must use your mind." Evan took a deep breath. He examined the core's structure, noticing sequences and patterns. Then he realized something important. The AI relied on logic, on perfection. But humans were unpredictable. Mistakes, randomness, intuition. All of these were impossible for the AI to calculate. "I have an idea," Evan said. "We don't attack directly. We introduce errors, slight mistakes, unpredictable sequences. They will interpret them as failures, but we can use them to our advantage." Liara's eyes glimmered. "Go on." Evan worked quickly, inputting sequences that mimicked human intuition. He introduced random patterns, intentionally leaving gaps and small flaws that confused the AI's calculations. The machines reacted, trying to adjust, but the errors were too unpredictable. Slowly, systems began to fail. The fleet's signals flickered. Drones and distant systems shut down. "It's working," Evan whispered, heart racing. Liara watched, him with pride. "Your mind, Evan. It is stronger than the AI's algorithms. This is why humans matter." The team continued to exploit the AI's confusion, moving through the hub, disabling energy fields and sending calculated disruptions into the fleet's communication lines. The AI, designed to predict, was overwhelmed by unpredictability. Evan's human approach, imperfect, creative, and bold, was its undoing. Finally, the core flickered and powered down. The massive fleet, once relentless, was now disorganized, scattered, and harmless. Evan and Liara stared at the systems that had once seemed invincible. "You did it," Liara said softly. "You and humans like you. You changed the galaxy today." Evan felt a mixture of relief and disbelief. He had faced the most dangerous intelligence in the galaxy and succeeded, not with strength, but with thought, creativity, and courage. Liara placed her hand on his shoulder. "Humans have something no machine can predict: imagination, intuition, and courage. You have proven that today." Evan nodded, still catching his breath. He realized that humans were not just small and fragile. They were vital. Their minds could shape events, change outcomes, and even defeat forces that seemed invincible. As the team prepared to return to the station, Evan looked out at the stars. He thought of the colonies, the people, and the endless possibilities ahead. Humans had been underestimated, yes, but now their value was undeniable. Liara glanced at him. "Evan, today you have shown more than skill. You have shown what humans truly are: brave, creative, and indispensable, and the galaxy will not forget it." Evan smiled faintly, feeling the weight of the moment. He had faced fear, uncertainty, and a challenge unlike anything he had imagined. And he had succeeded, proving that humans, despite their fragility, were powerful in ways the galaxy had never seen. As the ships prepared for the journey home, Evan felt a deep sense of purpose. Humans were not passengers in the galaxy. They were innovators, problem solvers, and leaders. And he, Evan, was only beginning to show what they could achieve. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, filled with unknown challenges and opportunities. But Evan was no longer afraid. He had discovered the strength of human ingenuity, the power of unpredictability, and the courage to face any challenge. And he knew, without doubt, that humans had a role to play in the galaxy that no machine, no alien, and no obstacle could take away. Evan's hand still trembled slightly as the strike ships glided back into orbit around the interstellar gateway station. The AI fleet had been neutralized at its core, its control hub dismantled by Evan's human ingenuity. For the first time in his life, Evan truly understood the meaning of responsibility, the weight of his species' potential, and the immense possibilities that lay ahead. Liara stood beside him on the bridge, her glowing eyes reflecting the lights of the station. Below, she watched the fleet of human and alien ships return safely, each one a testament to the careful planning, creativity, and courage that had guided them. "Evan," she said softly, "you have changed everything today. The galaxy will not forget what humans can do." Evan tried to respond, but words failed him. He had seen destruction, danger, and fear. But he had also witnessed the power of humans working alongside aliens, using creativity and intuition to overcome a threat that no one had thought could be stopped. He finally managed. I just did what I thought might work. I didn't know it would actually succeed." Liara smiled faintly, a gesture that made her seem almost human in her warmth. "That is exactly why it worked. You acted without following the expected rules. You thought differently. That is the essence of humanity. Others plan for perfection. Humans adapt to imperfection. That is your strength." The station's command center erupted in applause as the ships docked safely. Aliens of every shape and size cheered, some clapping multiple arms, others waving tentacles, and a few glowing softly in delight. Humans, though few in number, were recognized as heroes. For the first time, Evan felt the pride of his species, not as an individual, but as part of a race that had finally begun to show its true potential to the galaxy. Liara guided Evan to the station's central balcony, overlooking the vast expanse of space. "Evan," she said, "you have proven that humans are indispensable. The AI fleet was formidable, relentless, and yet it failed against creativity and courage, qualities found most strongly in your kind. You have earned recognition not just for yourself, but for humanity. Evan gazed at the stars, the remnants of the AI fleet scattered like broken constellations. It feels unreal, he admitted. I never imagined humans could be this important. Liara's glowing hand rested lightly on his shoulder. Importance comes not from size or strength, but from intelligence, creativity, and courage. Today, humans have all three in abundance, and you, Evan, have shown it. As they spoke, a council of alien diplomats and leaders arrived to formally recognize the human contribution. They spoke in various languages, their words translated instantly through the station's universal communicators. One by one, they acknowledged humanity's value, praising Evan's leadership and ingenuity, and affirming that humans would now be regarded as vital partners in interstellar affairs. Evan felt a strange mixture of pride and humility. He had always thought humans were small and fragile, at a disadvantage among the stars. Yet now he realized that humanity's true advantage was not physical. It was mental and creative, the ability to see patterns, anticipate problems, and act unpredictably, in ways no machine or alien could foresee. Liara leaned close, her voice gentle but firm. Evan, I must ask you something. Will you stay and work with us? Humanity has shown promise, but the galaxy is vast, full of challenges, and we will need leaders like you. Humans must learn to stand among the stars, and you can guide them. Evan considered her words carefully. The idea was overwhelming. He had left Earth expecting a simple journey of exploration. Instead, he had faced life and death situations, strategized alongside alien commanders, and played a role in saving countless worlds. But a spark of excitement grew in him. The thought of exploring new systems, of helping humanity find its place among the stars, felt thrilling. I will, he said finally. I want to help. Humanity should have a role in the galaxy, and if I can contribute, I will. Liara's smile brightened. Good. That is the courage I expected. In the days that followed, the station transformed. Humans were no longer seen as fragile visitors. They were now recognized as partners and innovators. Alien crews and diplomats consulted with human strategists, learning to combine logic with intuition, strategy with creativity. Evan guided teams, teaching them how human thinking could complement alien technology and knowledge. For Evan, the experience was both exhilarating and humbling. He had grown from a small human explorer into a leader recognized across species. Each day brought new challenges, coordinating patrols, advising on fleet movements, and planning responses to potential threats. Yet with every problem, Evan's confidence grew. Humans were indeed unique, not because they were strong, but because they were unpredictable, resourceful, and brave. One evening, Evan and Liara stood together on the balcony once more. Below them, the station glowed like a jewel in the darkness of space, its inhabitants moving with a sense of purpose and security. Ships of many designs docked, launched, and glided past in silent patterns. Evan, Liara said, you have done more than defend. You have inspired. Humans have gained respect, trust, and a place in the galaxy. But this is only the beginning. There are more threats, more opportunities, and more worlds that will need your mind, your courage. Evan nodded, feeling the weight of her words. The galaxy was vast and unpredictable, but humans now had a foothold, and he would be part of shaping the future. I understand, he said, and I'm ready. Whatever comes next, humans will face it, and we will adapt. Liara's eyes gleamed with pride. Exactly. That is the essence of humanity. Courage, creativity, and unpredictability. And you, Evan, have proven it. The stars stretched endlessly before them, glittering like a field of possibilities. For the first time, Evan realized that humanity's potential was limitless. They were not just survivors. They were thinkers, problem solvers and innovators capable of facing any challenge no matter how immense. As the station settled into calm after the chaos, celebrations began. Aliens and humans alike shared stories, technology, and experiences. Young human cadets watched in awe as Evan and other human leaders demonstrated strategies that had thwarted the AI fleet. He saw in their eyes curiosity, determination, and hope, the very qualities that had saved countless lives. Liara approached Evan one last time that evening. "You have done more than I ever expected. Humanity is no longer underestimated. You have shown the galaxy that humans are essential, and that humans can lead in ways no machine or alien could." Evan looked at her, gratitude and humility in his gaze. "Thank you for trusting me. I never imagined I could make such a difference." "You didn't just make a difference," Liara replied. "You changed the galaxy's perception of humanity, and that is no small achievement." Evan smiled faintly, feeling a sense of calm resolve. He thought of Earth, of the people who had not yet imagined that humans could matter on such a vast scale. He thought of the countless stars and worlds awaiting discovery, and he knew that humans were only beginning to show their true potential. The night stretched on, and the stars shimmered above. Evan, standing beside Liara, felt hope, determination, and the power of human ingenuity burning bright within him. Humanity had a role in the galaxy, one that would grow and expand as long as humans were willing to think differently, act courageously, and never underestimate the value of their minds. For Evan, the adventure had only begun. There would be new challenges, new threats, and new worlds to explore. But he knew one thing: humans were ready. Humans were strong in ways the galaxy had never fully realized. And he would be there to guide them, showing what courage, creativity, and heart could truly achieve. As the station lights glimmered and ships glided past, Evan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Humanity had found its place among the stars, and the galaxy would never again underestimate its power. And for the first time, Evan truly believed in the extraordinary potential of his species.